Okay, which one of these people is legit Amish? Now, where I grew up, there were some Amish people kind of around. In fact, there was the Amish and the Mennonites. We had a lot of Mennonites, too, and I don't necessarily know the difference. I think they have kind of a little bit of a difference, probably like Catholics, Protestants, something like that, but they're kind of like in the same ballpark. Kind of wore some of the same kind of clothes and same kind of look.
And do you know how far this whole, because I've only seen stuff on TV and I've only read about stuff, but the modern day Amish person, are they not allowed to have any kind of electronics at all? Do you know the rules on that?
I'm not really positive exactly how it goes. That's kind of what, I'd seen on it. So
we tell them to call in, but I don't think they have a cell phone.
Well, that's just it. So, I mean, I guess whoever we have here is maybe former Amish, or maybe Amish are allowed to use phones. I don't know.
Maybe they went on Rumspringa and said, you know what? I got a taste and I like it.
Okay, well, I guess we're going to figure out which one of these is legit, which one is not. We have got Zeke on here, and I guess Zeke, it's that's short. Your name used to go by Ezekiel. Is that correct?
Ezekiel, yes.
Okay. All right. So we got Zeke here.
That's a legit sounding name.
That is very legit.
That is biblical.
And then we got Mary, which I believe that's actually in the Bible.
I mean,
yeah.
You don't get more biblical.
Hello, Mary. Oh, sorry. Hello, Mary. Somebody hit the buttons. Okay. Yes. Hello, Mary.
Oh, yes. Hello.
Okay. There we go. All right. So which one of these two is or was legit Amish?
People are already saying the first guy's legit.
It's already over?
Yeah.
Zeke is it. Now, keep in mind, I think Denny's a lot of times does come up with made-up names. I don't know if Zeke is or not. So my first question here for Zeke. So tell me about the Amish and using phones or appliances or things like that. Where you're from, are you allowed to?
Well, I grew up in an Amish sect in Iowa, and with terms of technology and everything like that, we don't use it day to day and everything. However, when we are, working, there's sometimes where we're allowed to use electronics, sometimes allowed to use electricity. Like if we're, with a storefront or something like that, where we're selling our goods. So that's when we're allowed to use it. But it's just we don't want to use it in terms of vanity and in terms of, creating life beyond what we really truly need. And as we were going forward, modern.
Okay.
You won't.
So Amish don't often use the hashtag living your best life.
You won't find Ezekiel 69 on the gram.
Right. Okay. So, yeah, you can use it for business, not for vanity.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's real.
If that's real. Mary, what do you have to say about using electronics and phone in your community? What was it like with them?
Sure. Yeah, we had electronics. There are less conservative orders where they use electronics all the time, but it would be things that are approved by the church. So, like you wouldn't watch TV or anything like that, or anything that would be basically bringing the world into your home. You would not do that. But you might be allowed to have electric lights and things like that, depending on which church you went to.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe I'm just buzzed, but that sounded pretty good.
I can tell you, first round, both of them are pretty good.
And he might be drunk, not just buzzed.
Yeah.
Can we get Denny's, we need a field sobriety test.
All right, Virginia, what question do you have here? Who is legit? Which one of these is a legit Amish person? Is it Zeke or Mary? What's your question?
My question is, tell me about your parents.
Okay. About your parents, Mary. We'll start with you here.
Sure. Anything specific or?
Like, what was it like growing up with them? How did they parent you?
Sure. So, of course, we were very conservative. But interestingly, we were not born into that lifestyle. My mom decided when I was 11, she lived in Amish country, and she decided that she wanted us to have a safe and holy upbringing. Mm-hmm. So she decided to join one of the churches that had that lifestyle. So it was very unusual. So how I found out about it was at 11 years old, we were in Kmart to buy clothes for school, and all of a sudden she announced the new dress code. And I started crying. So, I didn't know that we were going to make that major change. But
I'm not gonna lie, I've cried in a Kmart too.
I have cried at Kmart as well.
Yeah.
I cried as a kid.
It's short for Crymart. That's what it is.
Totally cried at Kmart.
I cried when they closed a lot of them because they had great prices.
My mom and Ann would take us to the Kmart little cafeteria all the time. All the time. They had food. It's good food.
Right, so it's kind of dropped on her in a Kmart. Zeke, what about you? How strict were your parents growing up?
My parents weren't really that strict growing up. It was, while it was still conservative and everything like that, when you're younger, they make sure that I followed the faith and I followed the books. But as you go more towards your Rumspringa, they start to give you a little more of a leash to go out and explore and everything like that, because they know that the faith is not something that's forced upon you; it's something that you choose to come back to.
Yeah. On that, I do have a question about the Rumspringa.
Oh, damn, Kevin, taking my question.
Go ahead. All right. Go ahead. What was your question about it? You mentioned it.
You'll articulate it better.
Yeah, you just sound like a hack.
I was going to just ask, tell me about your Rumspringa. What was the craziest thing y'all did? Because I know both of y'all went.
And does everybody do it? Is that something every Amish person does, is Rumspringa? What do you say, Zeke?
I got hijacked, Virginia.
All right, so I wasn't sure if it was going towards me to Mary. So with the Rumspringa, it generally happens sometimes in your later teen years. I took mine at 17, and as we were, that lasted about a year and a half before I realized that the faith really isn't what I wanted to do. So I traveled from our home, and I went to Des Moines for a little bit because nothing says.
So when you want to party, you go to Des Moines.
So what was the craziest thing you did though?
Well, the craziest thing I actually did was when I went up to Chicago for a while after I turned 18. I went to a topless bar.
Oh,
and a guy.
Were you dressed as you were Amish in a topless bar at the time, Zeke?
Well, no, I was wearing a top.
Okay.
But I was wearing just, jeans and a T-shirt, and I got to talking to a guy, and he found out that I was Amish, and I'd never been to a topless bar before, and he bought me a lap dance, which was kind of crazy for me at that time.
By the way, if you're not Amish and you're in a topless bar, that might be a good way to get free dances.
yeah.
Zeke.
Free drinks.
Zeke, you a freak, Zeke?
I believe the term is life hack. That's what we'll use for that one.
Zeke, you a freak?
I don't think so.
No, but I think you are.
Yeah.
You just want to grow your tribe.
Hey, Mary, tell us about you with Rumspringa. Is that something that you went through? And if you did, what was the craziest thing you did during it?
We were actually, my friends and I were pretty jealous of the kids that got to do a real Rumspringa.
And by the way, if people don't know, that's when, I guess, with the Amish faith, you're allowed to kind of go live worldly to test, to know whether or not you really truly want to live as Amish or if you want to live in the world, right?
AKA getting laid.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we, our church leaders were not very favorable toward that idea, even though it is tradition. In a lot of that culture, it is traditional to allow your kids, basically before they're baptized into the church, they're allowed to decide for themselves.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool, but unfortunately our church leaders were pretty controlling. So my friends and I actually would get in trouble for the tiniest things, and we never really were allowed to do much of that.
Okay, so you were not allowed to do the Rumspringa, so not everybody can.
Interesting.
Okay. All right, so we've got two people on here trying to act like they, at least once in their life, were legit Amish. Is it Zeke? Is it Mary?
We're so confused.
Do you have any idea?
Ugh, we don't know.
I think I know.
Who do you think it is?
I think it's freak Zeke.
You think it's Zeke? Virginia?
I am leaning Zeke, but
He had a little bit more detail.
She had detail. I didn't believe the Kmart story. I thought the Kmart story was way too detailed and specific. It sounded made up to me.
Made up, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
yeah, I'm a lean Zeke.
You think Zeke is legit? Okay.
What do you think?
Just to cover my bases, I'll go Mary.
Because it's a toss-up.
Yeah. Okay. People just don't know. They just don't know who is the legit Amish. Is it Zeke or is it Mary? Some of the comments coming in, somebody said, Zeke gets my vote. I'm from Iowa, and Zeke is describing the Amish there very well.
Really?
Somebody even said Zeke has the accent. It's obvious.
I just felt like Mary's Kmart story. I don't know. It seemed fake to me.
People in the chat room were saying it's Mary, though.
Chat room is very pro Mary.
Well, somebody said Mary said the more conservative Amish use more electronics, and it would be the opposite. I mean, she completely blew it on that one. Zeke is totally legit.
Oh, I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, that's what you got to listen for, them flubbing up on something there.
They both were fantastic.
I
Yes.
agree.
All right, so a majority of the people texting in, Zeke, are you legit Amish?
No, I'm not.
Oh, Zeke's tricked
Are
us.
you kidding me? Oh my- I was a Zeke.
You got an Amish
freak.
accent.
Oh my-
Zeke?
Zeke
Thank you so
might
much.
be a freak.
Wow.
Wow. You
Wow.
guys are good.
You're very good, Zeke.
Okay. Well played. Very nice. Thank you very much there, Zeke. So, Mary, you are legit Amish, or at least once were, huh?
Yes, we grew up. It was an unusual story. So Jason's right. It's not normally what would happen, but we did join the church when I was 11. Normally you would grow up in the church. But
Okay.
my mom's kind of a radical person, and she decided that that she wanted our lifestyle to change.
Did you ever churn butter or build barns, all that stuff that we think of the Amish doing?
Oh, yeah, we definitely. One of my chores was grinding our own grain to make our own bread. And then my brother actually helped build a building for the church when he was 11 years old. All the kids, all the boys went out and lived all summer on the land in tents and built the building. So
When you finally got to use the internet, was it like crack for you? Were you just like, oh my gosh, moving pictures?
Has she done crack?
Well-
How's she going to compare?
exactly, I wouldn't know, but no,
I wouldn't know.
we had electricity though, because we stayed in the house where we lived.
Oh.
So we had electricity, but we went to the church. So we had AOL when it came out, but we didn't really, we weren't really allowed to use it for anything because, what if there was something worldly out there? So we did
Ooh.
have it though, I think for emails, but that was pretty much it.
Are there any kind of weird dating things in the Amish world about matching you
yeah.
up with somebody?
Oh, my God.
or, yeah.
Do they try to
Very
arrange?
different.
What is the weirdest thing that you saw dating as Amish?
So you aren't, depending where you go, like the Amish, they're allowed to do a version of courtship, and then in our church we called it courtship. So we were not allowed to even use the word dating. So we had to do a courtship where the young man and his parents would go to the parents, particularly the father of the girl, and pretty much almost ask for, preemptively her hand in marriage before you were allowed to start hanging out.
What?
And then you had to have the whole, and then you had to have the whole family there, or at least a chaperone, the entire time. So there really wasn't dating, but there was you could hang out and people would kind of know, but that's only if you had an official courtship going, because otherwise it would be extremely inappropriate
Whoa.
for a young man, young woman to just hang out.
Did you at least get alone time on
I
your
never
wedding
did.
night? Did that happen?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right.
Yeah.
Can I ask one more
I never
question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, a quick question about butter. Is it way better than butter at a restaurant? Because you're churning it, it's fresh, it's right there. Do you guys have the best butter?
I think we have all the best foods. They're all homemade and fresh. So everything was so delicious. And even though it was an adjustment just because I didn't grow up like that when I was little, but I ended up loving the lifestyle. It was a great way to grow up.
That's
Wow.
the best.
Fascinating.
If you have an Amish chef,
Yeah.
making all your meals and you eat all of
Well,
this.
farm to table, they were hit before anybody else.
They were farm to table before it was hot.
Could
Yeah.
you imagine saying, hey, where'd that butter come from, Dad? Oh, just the backyard.
I
What?
made it. I just, my arms are tired. It was me.
So Amish butter is better than margarine. or better than Land of Lakes?
I want some Amish butter so
Oh,
bad.
yeah. I mean, we would have never eaten margarine, you know.
Oh.
It's a wonder they don't have that in stores, Amish butter. You would think they would sell like
The
hotcakes.
concept of margarine is gross.
You're making me so hungry.
Yeah. Well, you did a fantastic job, Mary. Thank you so much for playing along with Who Is Legit today and sharing your story with us.
Oh, well, thank you guys. I love you.
Oh, we love you.
That's great fun.
Yeah, we
it was
learned.
educational. We learned a lot of stuff.
Yes.
I love that. Well, if you got something interesting like that, an angle, and you want to be on Who Is Legit, you just send us an email and let us know. Mail@kvjshow.com.
You better believe it.
Oh, yeah.